and there's such a controversy about how much running backs should be paid. So me and Mr. James, we're going to talk to you today about the running backs and who is the highest paid by total cash salary. So let's get it started. Talk to you about that. Do you believe that the running backs should actually be paid what they're worth? Let's get it started.
Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished?
Welcome back to Football Barbie, where we talk about anything and everything football. Today I have my absolute favorite, I'm just going to call him Mr. James because that's his name, and talk to you about the running backs. So what do you think, James? Let's start at the top of the list.
Sure, and it's if you're looking at just total cash salary, it's Bijan, which is crazy. You're a rookie who's never played a game yet, and what, a $22 million contract. Yeah, you do have to look at two different things: the cash salary, which we're doing the top 10 like that. But if you look at the average annual value, it's much lower. He's getting $5 million a year if you look over the terms of the contract. But still, looking at a $22 million contract, that's amazing for
4 years, fully guaranteed. Now, I think he was the 8th pick by Atlanta in the first round, so that is the contract that he gets. His first year, he got a $13 million signing bonus. So of that, $13 million is signing bonus, and he is the highest paid for the 2023 season. I think it's so crazy.
I do too, but I'm all over it. I think he's going to be great, especially in that offense. They need a running game with who knows what the quarterback's going to be like there. So it's worth it.
It's rare.
I don't know what his like. All we have right now is film from Texas when he's playing at University of Texas, and there's no defense out there in the Big 12, so it's hard to imagine. But at the same time, I'm making a move in my fantasy team to move up to the #1 spot to get him, because he's going to be great. I can guarantee that.
Apparently, in his career for the 3 years, he played in 31 games, had rush attempts at 539, 3,410 rushing yards, and he had 33 rushing touchdowns. So we'll see. I mean, they really wanted him to trade up, and I think they traded up to get him. So.
I think he's worth it. I mean, maybe not the guaranteed or the bonus that he got, the $13 million up front, but over 4 years, $5 million is probably is the right number for him.
Okay, so let's talk about the next player, who is one of the main running backs currently, is Christian McCaffrey, who plays in the 49ers and has a $12 million contract. What do you think about him?
He's a stud. Pay him whatever he needs, whatever. It's worth it. He's the #1 running back and will be for the next couple of years. So
I know he was on Carolina. Now he went to the 49ers. I think the middle of last season. Mm-hmm. He did play with the Panthers from 2017 to 2022. He did have 1,025 attempts, 4,726 rushing yards, 4.6 yards per average, and 38 touchdowns since his career.
Give the guy a ball. 4.6 yards average a carry. That's a first down every 2 plays. It's just he's ridiculous.
That's insane. I think he'll be phenomenal. So I think he is worth the $12 million. I mean, I know I do feel bad for these running backs. You do not talk about that. Next, you got ALVIN KAMARA, who is with the Saints. Now, he did have that issue in Vegas where he got in trouble, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, he's a stud too. If there's no repercussions from if there's no suspension for him, then he's going to be.
He does have a 3-game suspension for the first 3 games.
That's right. Yeah. So
which doesn't make sense. He was allowed to play in preseason, but he can't play the first 3 games of the season. It's kind of stupid to me. He did have an $11 million contract this year. He did play with the Saints from 2017 to 2022, still with them. And he does have 1,135 attempts, 5,135 yards total, 4.5 yards per average, and 49 touchdowns. So you can't really talk about the Saints currently without talking about ALVIN KAMARA.
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't you lead off to the next one?
Sure, this is my team. Saquon, same thing. Pay him. He is we got Danny Dimes at quarterback, and he's unproven yet. I'm still a fan of him, but Saquon is going to carry the Giants, and he's worth it. He's worth every. He got that franchise tag and got another 500,000 to get out of that. But I feel bad for him. He's one of those, out of all these running backs, with the controversy of them getting jilted in their
franchise tag.
Yeah, in this franchise tag. Hopefully they can the front office can talk to him this season because I don't want to see him go next year.
Yeah, he has incentives that'll push him to the $11 million tag. He has been with the Giants since 2018, where he does have 4,249 yards, 4,249 yards with 29 touchdowns. So he's definitely one of the Giants' best players.
We'll see how the Eagles defense stacks up against them.
Oh, yeah. I should have made him wear something to do with Giants. Yeah. Next up, you have Aaron Jones of the Packers. I didn't even realize that Aaron Jones was so good. He does get $10.96 million this year.
He's kind of one of those guys that get overlooked. But he's amazing. He's put up great stats every year, and especially with Rodgers gone now, he's going to be the focus. Who knows what Love is going to do for them? So Jones is the man now.
Yeah, I'm going to be curious. Since 2017 of him being with the Packers, he's had 5,284 yards, 5.1 yards per average, and 43 touchdowns. So he really has been a weapon that I didn't even realize that he was for the Packers. So going to be curious to see what happens now that Jordan Love's the quarterback. What do you think about the next one? Nick Chubb, the Browns.
Nick Chubb's been consistent. What's he? $11 million, close to $11 million salary. I mean, I don't know what other weapons the Browns have. So he's.
I really actually don't know either. I mean, if you're a Browns fan, please comment. Who are your other major players? Because as far as I know, Nick Chubb gets $10.85 million this year. He's been with you guys since 2018, and since then, that's actually one of the highest. Has 6,341 yards, 5.2 yards per average, and 48 touchdowns. I mean, that's higher than quite a bit of the other people from who played the same year.
He's consistent. So yeah.
The next one is a rookie.
I am not high on Jameer. Like I said earlier, I have the number 2 pick in my fantasy team, and I want Bijan. I'm reluctant to go with Gibbs because I'm just not 100% on him yet.
You don't think him for being on the Lions is gonna?
Yeah, I mean it's tough. He's not. I would definitely not be paying him almost $11 million with this rookie contract. I'm just low on him. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, he's getting $10.73 million. $10 million of that was a signing bonus for him being a rookie. He's a $17.8 million total contract.
It's crazy to pay him.
Fully
like
guaranteed over 4 years. Well, Bijan has more.
I know, but Bijan's worth it.
Yeah.
He's not good. Gibbs is not Bijan.
He did play for Georgia Tech, and he did play the last tiny little bit for Alabama. So we'll see what happens. I mean, do we think that Gibbs is going to do great at Detroit, or they also have David Montgomery that they did to pull from Chicago? So let's see what happens. What do you think of the next one? Derrick Henry.
He's instant Hall of Famer. He's been amazing. I can't think of a better running back between him and CMC in the last 10 years. It's him and Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Henry, who's on the Titans, has a $10.5 million salary this year.
Underpaid.
Yeah. I for sure feel like he should be paid. I mean, if you look at his numbers, so he's been with the Titans since 2016. He has 8,335 yards, 4.8 yards per average, and 78 touchdowns. 78. That's wild to me. Since his 2020 was his best year, which that was his breakthrough year. Yep. I mean, 2,027 yards and 17 touchdowns in 1 year for our running back. I mean, you kind of got to give it to the guy. Yeah, for sure.
He's going to get 1,500 yards this year.
I really feel like he should.
Bet the over on that.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's actually not a bad idea. Next up, we have Tony Pollard, our arch nemesis, the team. I'm an Eagles fan, and he's a Giants fan, so neither of us really like Dallas. Sorry, guys.
Thing is, with Zeke gone, he's with what Zeke's in the Patriots.
Yeah.
So he's their number 1. He's first down, second down, third down running back for the Cowboys. So he's going to be a beast.
Yeah, he's getting $10.9 million, $10.09 million this year. Been with Dallas since 2019. He has 2,616 yards, 5.1 yards per average, and 17 touchdowns in total. So not actually a lot of touchdowns, I'm feeling, for a running back.
Well, Zeke had all that.
That's true. So Ezekiel Elliott was their main star. So now let's see what happens to Tony Pollard now that he is franchise tagged and Zeke's gone. So we'll be able to do good. Okay, next up we got Dalvin Cook. I mean, I'm curious now to see what happens with him on the Jets.
Everyone's curious about the Jets this year. It's going to be crazy with with the amount of talent they have, they haven't seen anything like this. So
6 primetime games. They've never had this many primetime games ever. So if you're a Jets fan, you got to be thrilled. I mean, 6 of your games you'll be for sure be able to watch.
yeah, and Dalvin's Dalvin. He's gonna get the yards. He's gonna get the touchdowns.
He has an $8.6 million contract. Been with the Vikings since 2017 until now. Has 5,993 yards, 4.7 yards on average, and 47 touchdowns. It's crazy. I'm excited to really see what's going to be happening with the Jets, and their starting game is
They're gonna
on
be fun to watch. Yeah.
September 11th. That'll be fun.
Yep.
2 New York teams. Never say that. Well, as for a little side note, we do have Josh Jacobs from the Raiders, who apparently is going to now sign. I don't think he's actually signed a franchise
I don't
tag.
think I'm still curious. I'm not sure if it's a franchise tag or if he got out of the franchise tag, which is significant for next year.
Possibly going to get $12 million. I thought
They
it
get
was
franchise and we have to find out because I'm not sure if it was franchise tag or if they just gave him a new contract, but
Yeah.
a 1-year contract. But, yeah.
I didn't know that he was one of the best players for last season. I think he led the league last year in rushing yards, which I didn't know. I think it was over 1,500 rushing yards for a running back.
He had a 250-yard game last year. We watched that last year.
Oh, yeah. He has had 4,740 yards since 2019 with 40 touchdowns. I mean, clearly, some of these people, I just really feel like if they put up some good numbers within the first 2 years, I mean, it's sad that they don't want to pay the running backs. I feel like some of these running backs, some are not, but I mean, look at Derrick Henry since what, 2016? Derrick Henry, I mean, he's still going pretty strong. I mean, you can't say he's not.
I get the argument both sides. It's a business decision.
Yeah.
The running backs, we looked it up the other day. They average 2.5 years.
Yeah, so 2.5 years is the average. But I did try to find a couple people who have been in the league for quite some time, and you do have Mark Ingram, who just now retired, but he was from 2011 to 2022 on the Ravens. You do have Latavius Murray, who was since 2014 to 2022.
Yeah.
He's currently in the Bills as a backup. And you do have Melvin Gordon, who is with the Broncos in 2021 at least. So you do have some running backs who have been in the league for quite a bit of years. So some of them are trying to prove it wrong. How do you think they should be paid?
It's tough. I mean, if I was their agent, I'd want to get as much guaranteed upfront money because, like we said, 3 years at the most is the average. So what do you do? These guys carry the team. Look at the top 10 that we just listed, plus the other running backs. Without them, they're losing half the games.
Yeah.
With the replacement, I don't know what the equivalent, but in baseball, there's wins above replacement. If you replace these guys with any other average running back, your teams aren't winning. So there's value to them, but at the same time, you can't gamble on like a 5-year contract with a running back because
You don't know if they're going to actually do well.
Yeah.
Some of them. But Miles Sanders, his best year was last year of his so far. So for his 4th year so far was his best.
What do you think about Miles? Are you going to root for him?
I'm really curious to see how he's going to do
They don't play
it.
the Eagles, do they?
No, I don't think so. We don't play the Panthers.
Yeah.
I'm really sad to see him go.
I like him.
Yeah, he
So.
seemed like a really cool player. He
Yep.
didn't really had any issues. You know, some players have their issues off the field, and he seemed like he was a good person. You know, did his little thing. I had my little highlight video of him, and I had his jersey, and now he's gone. You have to be people sad to see go. And really, the last I would say would be Ezekiel Elliott. You know, he did decide to sign with the Patriots for a deal up to $6 million for 1 year. He has 8,262 yards and 68 touchdowns since 2016. So he really was a beast for sure at one point, and I know that he's probably excited to go to the Patriots.
I guess they're going to be the worst team in the
Unfortunately,
East.
in their division.
Yeah.
We for sure see the Patriots. Unfortunately, this year the AFC East, the other 3 teams, the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins are for sure going to do well.
It'll be fun to watch, but it's not going to be on a winning team. So.
No. So, well, thank you so much, guys. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. Give it up to Mr. James. Comment if you really liked him in the video, because I definitely do. He's extremely knowledgeable. So thank you, guys. That's all for now.